It is the Matt Mosley Show on the Rogue Media Network, brought to you by Ascension Providence, brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Central National Bank. Oh, the loyalty over the years from the Brian Fonville and the Nesbitt family, tremendous. We got a major car dealer on the way. We'll be announcing, and then Scotty, at some point, I kind of turned it over to you today because I was way too involved. But we have a great. There's Scotty. It's interesting you would choose to wear those indoors. I don't know why you would.
Wonder why.
Today. Yes. One of the greatest sandwich shop in the land in all of Central Texas, Schmaltz's, is on the way over. And in fact, we're kind of like recruiting. We kind of have signing parties, and the individual business owners there in Central Texas and even into the Metroplex, they'll put like 3 caps. They'll have ESPN Central Texas, they'll have Rogue Media Network, and then they might have, I don't know, like 105.3 The Fan. And so they'll have the different hats in front of them, and then they'll choose one. And lately, a lot of them have been choosing Rogue Media Network. Do we get everyone? Yes. No, we sort of do lately. We're on a roll, and we're very appreciative of that. Now, Scotty, we got a lot for you today. In fact, we've got some Sawyer Robertson to share with you, some thoughts on that. We've got some Clowney, who has become a Cowboy, and he's now showing up at practice. Today's his first practice with the team. That's exciting, and we can start. We'll hear a little bit from Jadeveon Clowney, and then another epic rant. And I don't know what it is. In fact, if I have a big rant today, remind me, Scotty, during my rant to just shout my age out. I think men who go on rants feel the need to share their age. In fact, if Scotty went on a major rant today, he might go, "I'm a man, I'm 33." And then I think we'd have to debate, if 33 is old enough to seriously be. I guess so. I think you are a man at 33. But the people that get into their 50s, and I'm getting close to there, they really like putting their age out there. And so Dabo Sweeney did that. Now, Scotty, yesterday, by the way, Scotty had a bit of an emergency, which led to me. Finally, Scotty, I realized to look at my phone, but it led to me, asking you questions just out here like, where has Scotty gone? And then I thought I had gone offline somehow, and so that I was like no longer live. And so anyway, but it was help. The thing I really needed you for, in a typical Mosley fashion, was the fact that, and boy, Simcox used to have to help me when I would get in these moments. Like, I've got friends in Dallas, and this guy became an actor in L.A. In fact, Sophia, the Princess Sophia. Have you ever heard of that cartoon or whatever? He was like the voice of the king, King Roland, in that. People that have kids, and you do now, but your daughter's not old enough to know these things. People that have kids anywhere from like 16 to 25 know what I'm talking about. It's the Princess Sophia show or whatever. But there was this guy that voiced the king, and he was in my cabin at Camp Ozark back in the day, and his name was Willingham. His last name was Willingham. Great guy. And so that led to me yesterday, Scotty, calling the Arizona State coach like Willingham instead of Dillingham. And I knew it was wrong, like as I'm saying it. So that's when you had to exit stage right I think you just had a little bit of sudden illness, and you checked it off, and now you're back feeling great today. At least you look good.
Thank you. Back and better than ever.
I was out here throwing out Coach Willingham, knowing it was wrong, but not immediately kicking in Dillingham. And so that's when I started turning to you, and then realized you had vanished.
Right.
So in some weird way, it's like I can talk for long periods of time, but when my mate, whether it be over the years, Stephen Simcox for years, and then it became Scotty Swingler. When you're suddenly missing, it becomes like, whoa, what's going on? I can't function. I can no longer function because then I don't know if I'm live. And yes, and by the way, that's how I used to be when I was your age. I did a show, or maybe even a little bit younger, with this legendary radio guy named Galloway. And he might talk forever, and I might not get a word in edgewise. But on those days I couldn't be there or I had to be traveling, he would act like it was the end of the world. And how could he ever function without the young Mosley? So anyway, that's how now I think of you, Scotty. Although I do lean on you more than he actually. In time, he and I, boy, we really had we had a lot of fun over the years. And in fact, I would imagine even a young Swingler occasionally would have heard Mosley and Galloway over the years. Although you were hanging out China Spring when you were in high school, and I hope China Spring, have they had any bounce back this season? Or are they still kind of struggling a little bit? Or are we showing signs of a bounce back?
They are. I think there's some talent there that wasn't last season. And China Spring, I actually don't know how this past Friday's game went, but they've looked good. Yes, definitely a comeback from the down year last season.
All right, and I a little bit of good news, Scotty, for Rogue. I happen to be close friends with the athletic director for Richardson Independent School District. And all those schools are wanting to go the Rogue direction with all their, that's right. And so
bring them on.
Anytime I sense anybody like is Mosley pulling his weight, I'm like, hey, here we go. I need to go out and grab some more. I need to bring some people into the fold. But today, Scotty, we have sandwiches. So very excited. Schmaltz's is coming over. And then as you see, the official law firm of the Mosley Show, Cherry Johnson, Sigmund James. Wow. Some of the top plaintiffs lawyers in the country. And how do you become a great plaintiff lawyer? Well, sometimes those guys have been on the other side. They've been in the DA's office. These guys have a wide range of experience. And so if you've been injured in some sort of accident, I mean, these trucking accidents happen. Man, the judgments these guys deliver, it is stunning. It's amazing. And I think in my next life, Scotty, I'm going to do like some designs. Look at that. I kind of like that. Whatever that design is they've done. Cherry Sigma. See, there's a J, I think, involved. I think there's like the makings of a C. I don't know where the J comes in. Anyway, I think in my neck, I think I could really design some good logos with the help of like a design artist. I think what I would be good at coming up with, Scotty, are the slogans for advertisers. I think probably the actual logo would elude me, but we're just introducing all kind of logos as we go. Do you know how to do all that, Scotty, like graphic art type work, or are you like me? Are you better at the concepts and then you would hand that off to somebody?
I know how to do very limited graphic work. If you were truly asking me to design a logo from scratch, that would not be my forte. Matt Mosley, I think we have an opportunity to do this right now. We need a slogan and a graphic or a logo for the Sawyer Robertson Heisman campaign that Baylor has not started yet. We need to develop a catchy hook, maybe a jingle, like a theme song. I can play the guitar. Let's come up with a jingle. We could do the whole marketing firm, and then maybe Sawyer will hire both of us when he goes to the NFL and makes millions of dollars, and maybe that's my way out of crippling debt.
I think. Okay, I can coach you out of some of that, by the way. But there's got to be like a Tom Sawyer tie-in. Now, if we get too Mark Twain-y, we could lose some of the audience. Adventures of but no, the Adventures of Sawyer Robertson. There's something there. I can work on that, but again, let me be the one to get in trouble with Baylor. Right now, I'm trying to get you to all these games, so please work with me, okay? I'm the one because I'm a little older and more seasoned, that is allowed to pick on Baylor and have them get mad at me, and I can still survive. They seem to hold grudges over there, Scotty. So
I don't.
go a little easy here, because
I
I gotta get you in the building.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I proposed us kicking off Sawyer's Heisman campaign on the name of this show. This says Matt Mosley. It's
Ooh.
your name on the show, buddy. I'm not
Yeah.
putting please bear with me on the line for this.
I know, but they take names over there. They monitor. But no. We're behind. Yeah, we're gonna. I do think they're gonna throw their full weight behind this thing. Sawyer kind of took a step back against Samford. The good news is nobody was watching that game. I mean, there were people watching the Green and Gold Game Day show because we had evidence of it. One thing I kind of like, Scotty, is when we do one of those polls, unless we're making stuff up, which I don't think we're doing, like there's always like quite a few votes that come in, and so I think more and more people are finding us. And then for a big night game, I think the YouTube show is we're gonna do some big numbers heading into that Arizona State game. Now, this very day, I've been in touch with. I just heard from. He's out of town, unfortunately, traveling on business. But I just heard from Woody himself, from Darren Woodson, who should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's not there yet. He's a famous Arizona State grad. And then yesterday, I heard from RG3. Now, one thing, and I'm nothing if not persistent, Scotty, which would have made me good in sales. The thing I don't do well in sales is like all the minutia. But I am, if nothing else, I'm pretty persistent. And during one key week recently, RG3 did not get back to me, and it was really annoying to me. So yesterday I did the passive aggressive tweet that we've all done. Scotty, I guarantee you've done it at some point. Is this still your number? The "is this still your number" text. It's one of the oldest.
Matt, I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with you. I don't think I've ever sent that text.
Okay. It is a very
you're on an island here, man.
It's a very passive aggressive text to send. It's a very, maybe it's not even passive. It's an aggressive, hey, what's going on with you kind of text. To which Robert was just very gracious as always and said, "Hey, Matt, it's me. Everything's still good here. How are you doing? What's going on?" So that one right there is one I've sent too often. It can either blow something up, because it could kind of make them even go the opposite direction. But if you've had a long-standing relationship with them, which I have had with Robert, it is a way to kind of send them a zinger, like, hey, you please, I need you to respond to me when I need you. And it did work. So Robert and I back in, and so Scotty, let's try to keep up with like where Robert's going to be week to week, and then if there's ever a game where we're kind of excited about, we'll throw Robert on, because here's where I noticed I needed to talk to Robert. When I sent that thing that kind of made Baylor mad, and I get it, it's fine. I love Baylor, and if they get mad at me, it's kind of like the guy that got onto Brian Kelly. You're not a true reporter or radio person or talk show host until somebody gets mad at you. I mean, and so it's happened to me a million times. But Scotty, when I sent that thing like, hey, I don't think Dave Aranda, I think his policy's not such as he's going to let, I didn't mean he's like trying to purposely undermine Sawyer's Heisman campaign. I just think his policies are going to hurt the campaign. And so I said that, and I sent that tweet out. Scotty, I forgot to bring that up on the show. Who was the first person that either retweeted or liked that when I sent that out?
RG3.
So I don't think he does that unless he agrees with me and understands that, because the tweet was about Robert.
Well, and by the way, Robert is, and I want to, before I say this, I am not questioning Robert's integrity as a member of the media and his genuine attempt to be objective. I think he does that. At the same time, he's the only big influencer in the media right now who for the last 3 weeks has said Sawyer is a top 5 Heisman candidate. So
Okay.
Robert is already doing some of that legwork to get that name kind of in that position nationally. So I'm not surprised that he interacted with that tweet.
What we need Robert not to do right now, though, we need to keep his focus there, because every once in a while Robert walks off into some political stuff, or he'll say something that'll, yeah.
Or he goes and gets in a fight with Ryan Clark, which was this summer, but.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Ryan Clark. Well, Ryan Clark said something idiotic recently. Oh, he went after a non-football player.
Oh, Ryan Clark said the other day on ESPN that Peyton Manning wasn't a generational talent.
So stupid.
I can't believe what these guys get paid to say sometimes, but people probably can't believe I'm on the Mosley show. So here we are.
We love having you. No, the people like it. In fact, somebody stopped me the other day. One of your longtime acquaintances, let's call him, and he was just like, "I heard you're working with Scotty," and I said, "Yeah," and so we had a visit about you, and we're a lot of kind things were said about you, even though you weren't there to hear it. We were just very kind things were mentioned about you. I'll tell you who it was later. I won't do it on the air. Okay, Scotty, we've got a lot to get to. Let's first address something that's happening on social media. And so occasionally Scotty and I, even though we were about 5 minutes from about to jump on a show together, Scotty will take a poke at me on social media. And I know why he's doing it. And I know what people are thinking, because I think there's, okay, do I have a little more interest than usual in what A&M's up to because my daughter is a freshman at A&M? Yes. The answer is yes, because, I've been down there. I've been to a game. I'm going to go down there for their version of Sing, because it's just been announced that she made a couple of big dances for the Tridelts. And so that's exciting to me.
Hey,
so Scott,
there we go.
I know you're excited about that too. But I think what you're sensing is I'm becoming a little too more than probably ever, because I've always been equal opportunity. I take pokes at the Longhorns. I take pokes at A&M. And I would think the people that follow me on social media right now, they're seeing maybe a little too much like positivity from me toward A&M. Now, the first one, I think you've got to give me some grace on. That was scary the other night. They stopped the game. They were worried that kid wasn't moving his arms and legs. So for me to say that's the best news of the day about Bryce Anderson, I think you can give me that one, because he's back with his teammates. That was a scary situation, and that was simply me showing support for it because the A&M, the news value of this is A&M put out a report today, a press release that said there was no catastrophic injury and this kid's going to be okay, and Bryce Anderson's back with his teammates. So, Scotty, I think you can understand that tweet.
Matt, I do understand that tweet, and I resonate 1,000% with what you're saying. Don't want to see anybody get seriously hurt, ever. Don't care who you play for. But Matt Mosley, this tweet about Bryce Anderson was not in isolation, sir. So there's that tweet. And if that had been in isolation, I might have interpreted it as, oh, Mosley's just happy that this young man's career isn't over. I can agree. However, you also, minutes before that, talked about Mario Craver being the best receiver in the NCAA, which, by the way, the best receiver in the NCAA is playing in Waco Saturday. His name is Jordan Tyson. He plays for Arizona State. He's going to be the first receiver off the board at the NFL draft. That's neither here nor there. So that's curious. And then I look back on Saturday, and you're saying the Aggies have the best wide receiver duo in the country. And I know it's because
the numbers bear this out.
Matt, I know. I'm going to check you on the numbers here in just a second. I haven't done that yet. I will check, and I will hold you to account. However, I know it's because You've already been to games at Kyle this season. I think you low key are starting to respect and perhaps, to my shock and horror, admire the traditions of the university 90 miles south of here. And I am scared, Matt Mosley. This is what we call in theological circles the slippery slope. You have started at the top of the slippery slope. It starts by sending a kid there. Then maybe you just admire a couple of players. Then you start attending football games. Next year, we're going to have you singing the fight song, and I'm going to have to take you to intervention with Sailor Bear.
You know,
I'm 33, Matt Mosley. I didn't live this long in my life to watch one of my friends convert to the cult.
Okay, Dabo. All right, Gundy. It is time. White coaches in their 50s love to throw their age out there. Now, if you look, his numbers from a yardage standpoint leads FBS right now. His catches are huge. You got 43 catches. You got well over 400 yards after 3 games. So Mario Cravers, who we're talking about, the numbers actually back me up. So
I'm looking numbers right now. Give me a second.
I was trying to say something clever in the sense that, which I think was, like that Mississippi State completely misused him last year. And he had like 17 catches in 9 games, even though he averaged 21 yards for reception and had 3 touchdowns. And so I simply said they didn't realize they had the best receiver in the country on their roster. So you're taking me as like I'm definitely saying he is the best receiver in the country. I was doing it as more of a jab at Mississippi State not having that recognition. Now, I think if you look this up and you look at like in the FBS, who's the top, either yardage wise or maybe even receptions, he's up there at the very top. So again, you may think Jordan Tyson to your eye is the better receiver. That's fine. And I think that's an argument probably worth having. But when it comes to statistics, I think Mario Craver's sitting up there right at the top. So I don't think I've said anything that's too far out of the realm. And I'm 52.
Oh my goodness.
Almost. Yes. All right. Have you been able to look this up? I mean, I only vamped for like 20 minutes there.
I'm looking up a very specific.
Oh my gosh. It's just yardage in FBS. Where is he right now in relation to the others?
I'm opposing a different claim. Give me a little bit, Matt. Keep talking about how great Texas A&M is. Our Baylor fan base will continue to be disappointed. You are right. Mario Craver leads the nation in receiving yards at this moment. I am looking up something different to yell at with you. Give me a moment, please.
I just want to isolate
Grok is not doing what I'm asking Grok to do. I'm about to have to switch to ChatGPT.
What's our new buddy's name? Brian. I'm going to have Brian do a short where you said, "You are right, Mosley, about Mario Craver." I just want that. I just know it was not easy for you. And while you do that, can I just say, let's stay on college football for a little bit. Like, it's amazing how many bad jobs are opening up. And it just makes me think, it's amazing that UCLA can be this horrible of a job. It's amazing that Virginia Tech, think about like what the people put into this. I mean, it's kind of like what happened after Grant. It was like, okay, Grant's turned this into a really good job. This is a dominant SWC defense. They've been really, really good over the years. They're like historically a top 3 or 4 team in the conference. And then within like 3 years, and then they ran Chuck off. They turned it into like the worst job in the country. They had turned Baylor into, and then of course Art saved it. And then of course it turned into another. Like think how many times even Baylor could have been listed as the worst job in the country. I'll tell you several times. 1969, when Bill rolled in, By the time he had ruined everything, Grant Taft takes it over, turns it around, and then after they hired freaking Dave Roberts and Chuck Reedy and Guy Morris, they had turned it into the worst coaching job in the FBS again, or at least in Power or whatever it was back then, Power 5. It's amazing. And now we have freaking Power 4 jobs, and you and I were having this conversation, I think, yesterday, and I kind of enjoyed the conversation. Like, worst jobs in the country. Before Dion got to Colorado, Colorado was right up there. And we're okay. Let's eliminate all these others, these weird Pac-12, because the Pac-12 doesn't exist anymore. Let's just say Power 4 jobs in America. Right now, UCLA and Virginia Tech are way up there, and both of those have opened up. Think about how bad you have to be to take a Frank Beamer program and to run it into the ground so badly that nobody really is lining up to want that job. At freaking Virginia Tech, where you have huge support, where the fans love you, where you honestly should be able to go out and raise money. Like, that's amazing that you can take a job. And then, by the way, you also, on the opposite end of this, and maybe we'll play this in a minute, but you have Clemson, which is a incredible job, which you have a man that kind of inspired some of our rants lately. You have a man ranting, and you have him basically openly asking Clemson to have the guts to fire him, which they wouldn't, which they're not insane. They're not going to fire Dabo Sweeney, but this man has gone into the tank. Now, did you find what you were looking for to further come after me for my sudden apparent love of Texas A&M? Are you still looking for this?
I still think you are trending into dangerous territory as someone who covers the Baylor Bears, but the stats I was looking for did not support my argument, so I'm going to refuse to share them with you. I am still doing research, but I have changed my method.
There are stats that would say that when the other night I said A&M has the best wide receiver duo in the country, the stats back it up, because Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver are unreal right now.
Yeah. I confess the stats back it up, and I'm not happy about it.
He's like a great quarterback. He's backpedaling. He's retrenching. He'll find another position.
Well, I just thought for the sake of comparison, I was like, well, dadgummit, I'd rather have Josh Cameron and Ashton Hawkins. So I looked up their numbers, and unfortunately, Ashton Hawkins hasn't gotten into the end zone yet, which really hurt when I tried to compare those duos to each other. But
who would be the top duo right now, though? Would it be those two, or does Cole Wilson done enough to replace like?
Well, Wilson had that big game one, but he's been a little quiet in the last two.
If you could use Prentice's touchdowns with the other receivers' most touchdowns, then you're starting to get somewhere, right? What does Prentice have touchdown wise now?
Prentice plus Cameron have the same number of touchdowns as Concepcion and
we
Carter.
have to work hard at this, but we can make the argument that
no. I'll give it to you. I was ready to roast you, and that duo looks to be at this moment like the top duo in America. 3 games in, I just want to save your soul and don't want you joining a cult.
If you, it is. I mean, it is. It totally is. And in my defense, when they start the leaning, like I was with an A&M football player, former A&M football player, and great guy. He's the son of an Aggie legend, Bucky Dusick. And I know him as Will Dusick, but his dad's name was Brad Dusick. He played in the NFL for years. But he put his arms around me as if like, hey, you're here with me. These are my tickets. It's time for you to lean with me. And Meredith, my wife sensing my unease with this setup, reverses and switches with him. She went ahead and participated out of, because she's kinder and more gracious than I am. And that allowed me to unhook and get over kind of by myself where I didn't have to do it. So I still am maintaining a level of distance. All right. Now, there is something weird that happens when you send your kids somewhere because you're wanting them to do so well and you're wanting them to have a great experience. And it's not like you can root against them and you want them to go in the portal.
Do you remember roasting parents for this like 3 weeks ago?
What?
For suddenly supporting the schools where their kids go?
No, that's totally different. That's totally different. Like,
I don't know. I think we're going to have a side-by-side this week.
The guy I was roasting, no. I still stand by that point. He went to Baylor with me, and his kids go to Auburn, and I saw him at a Baylor-Auburn game, and he's in an Auburn shirt. First of all, I would never put on maroon. I would never wear A&M colors or anything like that. But I just thought that was like laughable to the point where the other night, he's the nicest guy in the world, but I saw him, they live in my neighborhood, and I saw him out for a walk, and I almost couldn't talk to him. I'm still not okay with this. So, yeah,
There we go.
So
we've brought him back, folks. There's Matt Mosley. There's my friend.
I cannot believe we're capable of opening an entire show with like 30 minutes on. I mean, I think it was appropriate, and I think
we finally got him back out in the open. By the way, that does answer the question. Our friend Brian at Bear the Truth on YouTube, who I believe you met before that Baylor-Auburn game, did comment, if Mosley goes full turncoat, is it going to be green and gold game day adding maroon? But then he said moron. But then he just added after that rant, mark it, Matt will never wear maroon.
Thank you.
You now have an army holding you to that, Mosley.
Man, Bear the Truth needs to come over. By the way, all those people that are at that, I used to kind of have a little bit of an uneasy relationship at times with our Sikkim 365 pals, and that tent, they're next to us. But, having Ashley on, I think people don't understand that Ashley and I, through it all, have maintained, we're really good friends. And we just have let people think that there's some kind of Mosley Sikkim. I'm on there. I'm on your boards. Come over. The water's safe. In fact, I think they're going to put like a link, like a permanent Mosley show link over there where all of y'all can come in. And so it's fine. You don't have to. What people love to do more than ever in this world, and it has to do with politics and everything, is like, get on a side. I got to be over here. Now, yes, with A&M and Baylor, pick a side, stay over there. I get that. Okay. Baylor and Texas Tech. I mean, the goofiness of this season, by the way, Scotty, is that I'm watching Texas Tech, who they haven't played anybody, but they're already getting, college, Noon, whatever. Are they playing in Utah or is that game in Lubbock? But Big Noon is going there, wherever it is. Tech is getting all this attention, and I love doing. And Joey's a friend of mine, and I've had to kind of watch that because I think that bugs some Baylor people when you bring Joey on and yuck it up with him. I think a lot of Baylor people automatically saw Joey as the enemy once he went to Texas Tech, and I'm not really like that. But I'm also sensitive to those people that they don't really want me to have Joey on all the time, yucking it up with him. So I'm somewhat sensitive to that. Is he still my friend? Yes. Do I need to be having Joey on constantly or Grant McCaslin just because they're friends of mine? No. I'll have them on occasionally. But, I think most Baylor people want to hear, they want sort of to hear from Baylor people and all that kind of stuff. But where I was headed with that, Scotty, is that like the schedule makers are such idiots. Like here's Baylor with a chance to be really good this season, and they appear to have perhaps an elite offense. The defense stinks so far, so who knows what's going to happen there. But Baylor and Tech have to square off every year. What you can't do when you have this mishmash of a conference and you have Arizona schools coming in and Utah and the Mormons and all these people, and it's fine. Like Houston's in, and they're great at hoops, all right? And Arizona's great at hoops. That's all fine. But what you can't do is take your base and start letting it splinter. You can't take Baylor and Tech and stop letting them play. I mean, you have to protect like what made the people that were here fighting to keep the conference alive. You have to keep Oklahoma State and Baylor and Texas Tech, and obviously you did protect the TCU game, but you have to protect all that. You can't. I mean, you can't like say, well, I'll tell you what, every few years we won't have Tech and Baylor play. No, my gosh, the team that's been playing since the 1960s, since Tom Sawyer, by the way, another Sawyer, was their quarterback, and John Mosley was a defensive tackle for Baylor who sacked him twice on Parents' Day, circa 1968. That's my dad. You have to keep these things alive. All right. So, I mean, I love all the Big 12 people and, go off and chase Barstool. These people, I mean, again, that's where things embarrass me a little bit, Scotty, is when they're like, oh my gosh, Dave Portnoy put on a Big 12 sweatshirt on his show the other day that most of us could not find. Most of us don't even know what that show is. I mean, I'm not saying, hey, eventually this show will have, 50 to 100,000 subscribers and all of that. So I'm not trying to say we're knocking it out of the park right immediately, but let's not chase. What do you call that, Scotty? What does your generation call like aura chasing or whatever that is? Chasing something. There's like a term for it.
Aura farming.
Yeah, let's not do that. We're good enough. We've got enough history. We got enough good schools to do all this stuff. If you want to keep bringing in the random concerts and WWF or WWE, whatever it is, and belts and bringing in, 55-year-old rappers, do it by all means. But this Barstool chasing them around is kind of beneath us. All right. Oh, Dave Portnoy's on the Big Ten. He's on the Fox Big. Let's get him to say something about the Big 12. Come on, Brett. We're better than that. Goodness gracious. And I think that is one thing my Baylor brethren kind of agree with. You think the Baylor family, you think the Baylor brethren, the mission or whatever we're about, you think we're about Barstool? Not in a million years. So let's stop chasing after all that stuff, all right? Oh, Dave Portnoy said our name. Did you hear Dave Portnoy talking about Utah? Dave Portnoy is talking about Texas Tech. Who cares? He does pizza reviews, all right? Yes, he cusses and drops F-bombs and interviews Trump. All right, great. All right, let's just get in bed with them, all right? Because they have huge numbers. Let's just throw away all the other stuff, and let's go get in bed with Barstool Sports. All right, let's do some Campus Confidential. Let's do that next.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we didn't know exactly what that partnership would look like.
What brings you into the bank today?
For the last couple of months, I've been noticing a charge on my account, and I would like to block it.
I see. So you have a charge,
Yes?
and you'd like to block it?
Yes.
I think you should take the charge.
What?
Yeah, I definitely think you should take the charge.
I don't think you understand.
Sometimes you just have to take one for the team.
Is there a manager available?
We love that Coach Collin is all about the team. Once we get the vocabulary down, the sky's the limit.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
I have Mac Rhodes, director of Baylor Athletics, on the phone. Mac, can you tell Peggy why she should take the charge?
Of course she should take the charge. Wait, are you at the bank again? And who is Peggy?
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Unlock a world of convenience with Mosley Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mulleybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. Unlock your full potential with Onnit, your go-to for premium supplements, fitness gear, and wellness essentials. Whether you're training hard, recovering faster, or just looking to feel your best, Onnit has the tools you need to perform at your peak. Visit Onnit, that's ONNIT.com, and elevate your mind, body, and spirit today. At Rolls Rolla, we don't just sell wallpaper, we create cohesive, cozy spaces. Our deep understanding of design means every pattern, color, and texture is carefully chosen to complement your home. Plus, we use advanced technology and water-based inks for vibrant, eco-friendly prints, ensuring a healthier environment. Visit rollsrolla.com to transform your space today. That's ROLLSROLLA.com today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
At Tusane's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusanes.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Calling all Marvel fans, get Marvel Unlimited and unlock over 30,000 comics featuring your favorite heroes and iconic stories, all available to read anytime, anywhere. Whether you're into classic tales or the latest adventures, there's something for everyone. Don't miss out. Head to marvel.com/unlimited today and start your Marvel journey now. At Angel Bliss, we believe every parent's journey is a beautiful adventure. Our mission is to make it joyful and stress-free with thoughtful, safe, and innovative products. Born from a love for family, we promise peace of mind for parents and comfort for babies. From playtime to bedtime, every Angel Bliss product is designed with care, reliability, and a style to nurture the special bond between parent and child. Angel Bliss, creating happy memories, one baby at a time. Visit us at angelbliss.us. Angel Bliss.
It is the Mosley Show, Rogue Media Network. Scotty, I know you've missed that roving 360 camera that we normally have. We usually have this kind of HD, unbelievable setup. I got a couple of things being worked on, so we're not quite up to the normal Mosley Show standards. Do we have standards? And I've chosen to just remain in sunglasses because Scotty did it today, so I have to match up, and I haven't really had to read anything. Scotty and I have spent most of the time today debating whether I've showing too much optimism or love or giving too many props to the fighting Aggies of Texas A&M, because I do have my daughter attends A&M now, and that was tough to deal with when that decision was made, and I will not say that I dealt with it perfectly. In fact, when that decision was made. It was on the way back from a trip when the announcement was made in the car. It was made on a trip back from College Station to Dallas, and I did not speak during that 3-hour ride. So I didn't. Maybe I think that's better than like what was going through my mind. I think silence was a better reaction than some others.
That's
But
funny, by the way.
yeah, Scotty, if you think it was easy for me, then I assure you it was not. It's just at some point you're like, am I going to not pay for my child's schooling? Probably not going to choose that option. Am I just going to stay at odds with her for not going to my alma mater? That doesn't seem like
That's not a good option. Nope. Nope.
But just know that it was not taken lightly. And so now I can laugh about that ride, but at the time it was just like, I didn't feel like I had enough time to properly, like I kind of wanted to, and her mom did as well. We wanted to kind of talk through it. And then it was just suddenly the decision was made and there wasn't a lot of talking that was happening. So anyway, but you know what? She's happy. She's excited. And she's having the time of her life. So that's good. Thank you, Central National Bank. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being our presenting sponsor. Thank you for your loyalty over the years, even during COVID. They came over to the Mosley show, and then they continue to do so. You see the commercials. We're going to be doing more and more with them moving forward. Thank you, Ascension Providence. As of this very day, we're doing a signing party. Scotty, I don't know what kind of party it'll be, but we are signing Schmaltz to the dotted line, and they're coming over, one of the great sandwich shops. And again, I didn't know what, people don't, you always know, like, hey, what am I doing? What are you doing over there? What's the YouTube show? What's a streaming show? I've been doing radio forever. I didn't know, if they would automatically follow me, but for the most part, they all are. And again, I've not even told them to leave. If they want to keep doing radio stuff too, great. I got no problem with that. Just come with me. Just be a part of this show. And then I introduced them to Scotty, and that really cements things. Once they see a young man in his early 30s with the cap turned around backwards, it just kind of, who has really good church attendance, that really cements the deal. And old Scotty, boy, there was a time, Scotty, where they were really checking where the professors at Baylor, if they were going to Sunday school or not. There was I think we've moved on from that era. Thankfully,
I think it's okay that we've moved on from Sunday school attendance for college level educators. I think that's
they were getting. Okay. I think some of them were getting called out. Okay, some of my professors, in fact, I think were right there in the crosshairs. Okay, let's do some campus confidential, and we're a little loose today, so we can go as long as you want, Scotty. And with campus confidential. There's one guest that we have from time to time who's a big X's and O's guy, and I love him. I really love him. But like his answer to me is always, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if that time works or not. Like, I don't care if you say no to me, but you just can't say I'm not sure or maybe. Like I don't deal in maybes and I'm not sures. So that's, if you're ever, if I ever call upon you as a guest, just know that out there in the audience. We will have soon, I was touch base today with Seth Russell. He is not giving me a maybe or whatever, but he's going to be coming up with us soon. He had some work stuff that's affecting today and tomorrow, but we're going to get him on, and always fun to have Seth on, because Seth's one of those guys that he's very gracious, and it's not like he'll come on and rip Baylor, but he's very truthful, and he's not going to just give you the company line, even though he is likely paid. I think they pay him to be on the official Baylor pregame show. But again, just like the great JJ, the late great JJ Joe, that was one of my favorite guests ever, because JJ was always nice about how he did it, but also very, very blunt in terms of he would tell you exactly what he was thinking. And to not have his perspective That I cannot ever overstate how huge of a loss that was for the Baylor family. And we've lost great ones along the way. And I don't want to get into was that loss bigger than others. I'll just say that was an enormous loss for Baylor. And I do believe, Scotty, that we're going to have a really nice story that Faith Lynch has been working on. And we're going to be able to see that. And I think KWTX will have some of that, but we'll definitely be featuring that on the YouTube live show, which is the Green and Gold Game Day show live. That'll start at 3:30, 3 hours before kickoff. And then Faith and I will join it at 4:30. And then Scotty will be a part of it all the way through. But I think that'll be Scotty, do we know, can we give a time to people exactly when we're thinking about running that JJ piece in case they want to see that live? Obviously, that thing will be housed where people can go and see that afterwards. Where can what time could people tune in for that JJ Joe piece?
4:45.
Got it.
4:45.
Love your timing on that, because that'll be early in the time when Faith and I jump on, but also right after that, one of JJ's best friends in the world will be coming on, and that is Robin Big Cat Jones. Robin's already told me, Scotty, that he said, okay, well, I won't drink. He said, I won't have anything to drink before I come on. And to which I said, I'm not sure our buddy Lackey, I'm not sure Eddie totally waited on that. If you want to,
Southern Roots is one of our sponsors for the Green and Gold Game Day show. So, maybe we'll hand him something on set. Maybe.
Here's what I've never been able to do. And I saw Eddie do it in person, and it's kind of impressive. And Eddie is like still in unbelievable shape, so he can get away with this. Scotty, have you ever shotgunned a beer?
Did you just ask me if I've ever shotgunned a beer?
Well, you don't really look like somebody or even act like somebody who would have done that. Are you saying you have done that?
I have absolutely done that.
And I'm not even. It sounds like I'm doing a bit here, but I'm really not.
I was not prepared to answer this question, by the way.
Do you? Because I've never done it. Seriously, do you go straight up and is there like a method to it? Like, do you open like where you can? Because I see these people on film on the jumbo.
Yeah,
it disappears even out of a cup of beer. It disappears in a hurry. Like, what's the strategy for that?
Well, I don't know about a cup involved in this process. What I know is you take a beer can, you punch a hole in it, pocket knife, whatever, right here. And when you crack it open on top, then the air comes in and all the beer comes out, and you just put it all away. You just put it all away. How do you not choke?
How do you not choke with that much coming in at one point? Like,
sounds like you might have a skill issue, Matt Mosley.
I don't know what it is. I don't plan on ever trying. Did you see Eddie? When Eddie was on with us, Eddie was like, "You want to do one, Mosley?" And I was like, "No."
Matt, wait. This is our opportunity. We were talking about marketing earlier. I think we need to promote this. Not this Saturday. I don't think we're prepared. I think we need to have you train, and we need to, on the pre-Oklahoma State Green and Gold Game Day show in a week and a half, we need to have you and I shotgun a beer. I think we have to do this now. This is our promotional opportunity.
Like, if I wanted my wonderful mother to stop talking to me for a good 6 months, I would do that.
If you could
allow happening on screen.
You could allow your daughter to become a member of the Aggie cult and still maintain a very good relationship with her, I think your mother would understand that we need subscribers to Green and Gold Game Day, and Matt Mosley learning how to shotgun a beer might just be the secret sauce.
Like I can see like jumping in the Brazos.
I've done that. That's not a big deal.
Things that would, I would consider, but the alcohol related, the answer is no. Let's do something we call campus.
Very good transition. Yes. let's stop talking about our show and talk about what's going on around the country. Oh man. Well, I was prepared to roast you over these tweets for Campus Confidential, but we just handled that right out of the gate. I'm glad we handled that. Mosley, would you like to start with Harvard or with animals today?
Let's start with animals.
Animals today. Matt Mosley, you know it's a slow Wednesday on ESPN.com when there's a feature story about an unofficial mascot on the homepage of the college football page on ESPN.com. But I got to introduce you to Pudge the cat. This is Pudge the cat. Pudge has become the unofficial mascot of Bowling Green. Pudge belongs to their long snapper, George Carlson, and
This
he
is
is
a live
now
cat. This is an actual live cat.
yes,
It's not a-
he's
Wait,
here on the
I'm not-
screen. He's
I'm not
become
seeing the cat. Or are people seeing the cat?
well. I don't know what's wrong with your iPad setup there, but everybody else can see Pudge the cat. He is the unofficial mascot. He is, by the way, I don't even like cats. Pudge the cat is freaking cute. Okay. This is a cute Persian cat, belongs to George Carlson, their long snapper. He is traveling to games with them and becoming a social media sensation. So if the Bowling Green Fighting Falcons change soon to the Persians or the Persian Cats, it will be because of this movement, this groundswell that has come behind Pudge the cat, featured today on the college football homepage at ESPN.com.
All right, I'm going to said page to take a look. I'm glad you brought up this live mascot thing, because I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, maybe even my wife. I don't understand why it's okay to bring a cow or a longhorn, whatever they are. It's okay to bring Bevo and Reveille the dog, and I mean Ugga. I mean the dogs. You got the longhorn. You got other the Razorback is in a cage.
The buffalo.
The buffalo comes to the stadium and runs. Why? Who made us stop bringing the bear to the game? And what would be the issue? Do we not like the optics?
The activist.
The
The
bear.
activist.
Yeah, but are you saying they brought a live tiger to the LSU game last year? It wasn't Mike. They didn't bring Mike over, but they brought another live tiger. Like, what? Do we really have proof that the bear is bothered by noise or something like
No,
that?
in fact, North American black bears, I don't want to admit how much reading I've done into this, Matt Mosley, so don't ask me. They are way more easily domesticated than a lot of wild animals, certainly more than a bison. Certainly.
You're saying
that bison in Boulder is infinitely more dangerous to anyone in attendance than a young. By the way, that's the other thing. Indian Bell are what, a year and a half old now, 2 years old? That bison is infinitely more dangerous.
I think we recognized the death of a bear at a recent game.
We did. We've got a flag for her now at the Baylor home game.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Matt,
honestly, I have to say, by the way, before you say this, the name of that bear is the name of a friend of our family and a great woman, and that died. And when they said that name, I wasn't really paying much attention. I was very relieved. I mean, no offense to that bear that we lost and had a good bear life, but I was relieved that it was the bear we were saying goodbye to, because the bear is named after a family friend of ours.
My goodness. Matt, you asked for something at the top of this show.
Yeah, yes.
We threw up this nice Cherry Johnson Sigmund James logo, and you said, Scotty, I have a business idea. I'll come up with the taglines. Someone else comes up with the logo. Matt, we now have 3 tremendous marketing opportunities in front of us, and I just need you to take full advantage here. We got to come up with the Sawyer Heisman campaign. We got to have you shotgun a beer on Green and Gold game day, and we've got to find a way to get the Bears back on the field at McLean Stadium.
I think I can help immensely with the first and third one. The second one's not happening.
The second one is the easiest one. That's the simplest one to achieve success.
I will dedicate my life to getting Sawyer this Heisman, and I will dedicate the rest of my life to getting that live bear back out there.
All right.
That's a dumb thing that we let these people control us. These PETA people don't really know. They just go around like just taking umbrage with anything you do. I could go kill a cricket and they would have a problem with that. The bear loves the interaction, used to love drinking the Dr. Pepper. Then we like, oh my gosh, the sugar is going to hurt us. Well, yeah, the sugar hurts us. The sugar hurts the humans. Yeah, we still do it. Yeah, we still make cookies. And yet with these bears, like, you can't have that. You can't have that. You've got to have organic. I mean, you talk about the wussification of America. We've done it to the animals too. I mean, it's very frustrating. And
I can tell you're passionate about this.
Don't get into all this, but somebody had a good tweet the other day, Scotty. They were showing their son's game, and their son was playing like basketball or something, and the other team was hammering them. And at some point, it went from 14-2, but on the scoreboard, they started taking points away from the team that was scoring, so it wouldn't look so bad on the scoreboard. We do too much of the ribbon, just handing out participation ribbons. That's happening way too much. And we've given PETA and these people. Now, here's where I understand it. If the rule is the bear people, the North American Bear Association or the Grizzlies, whoever they are, if they've told us we can no longer get our bears or send our bears to their sanctuary, then I would kind of understand that. If they're the ones trying to tell us they don't want us to put our bears out there. But bottom line is, the freaking Houston people used to have a cougar on a leash. Like at a game, you'd look over there. It wasn't even I don't even think it was in a cage.
What has happened? What has happened to our proud country? We used to really be something. I tell you what. Before all those fools took over.
Matt,
who is that? Who's that impression?
That's an impression I've done for about 10 years. I think Pete named him Joe Don. When my brother and I and a couple other of our friends crafted that character, we just named him Hubbard, Texas.
I've been to Hubbard. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Well, from the cat to the Mustang ? Matt Mosley. SMU made a statement today. They are done, so they say, with the phrase pony up. They have decided that is not appropriate for SMU's athletic department. Pony up will not fly any longer. They want to change it to something that fits more in line with the rest of the state schools. They specifically cited gig 'em, sick 'em, hook 'em, etc. So their current proposition is kick 'em stangs instead of pony up. Of course, as the Houston Chronicle pointed out when I opened the article, do you know what the animal is that takes the field before their games? A Shetland pony. They literally run a Shetland pony out on the field, but they are too embarrassed to say pony up. They can't even put a real Mustang on the field. So we're having all this conversation about animals on the field. There's the SMU Shetland pony, and yet they think it's too sensitive or inappropriate or not good enough to say pony up. Matt, they're getting rid of pony up at SMU.
I don't like, unless it's like a grammatical thing or something. Why in the world would you want to be in line with these other schools? You do your own, like, what are
insecurity, Matt? When you're insecure, you try to compare yourself to other people. That's what I've heard in therapy. You can't draw your worth. You can't draw your worth from other people. You have to draw it from within. And apparently SMU is very insecure right now, despite being a playoff team last year. They got to look at Baylor and Texas A&M and Texas Tech and not Texas Tech, I guess, because whatever they say. I don't even know what they say. What do they say? Is it just guns up?
Wreck 'em.
Wreck 'em. Oh, they say wreck 'em. Yeah, they're trying to be like everybody else, Matt. Trying to be like everybody else.
What does TCU say? Riff ram something? I mean,
I don't want to even know.
I don't.
Whatever this is.
Will you send me this? This is embarrassing. If I don't.
The SMU story, you want me to send it to you?
Yeah, I just don't
sure.
I don't get it.
I saw it on Houston Chronicle, but I think ESPN's got it too.
Okay. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Pony Up, it actually started working. I don't know when they started doing that.
And their most iconic team ever was the Pony Express. Like I fundamentally don't understand getting away from. I don't think anybody in America is going, Pony, that's so feminine. Like nobody cares. Like it's kind of cool, honestly, in my opinion. Just outside observer here. I don't give a rip what SMU wants to do, but yeah, it's an odd, weird, especially in the middle of the season to drop this news. Very strange PR choice.
What would have been a good
up there
Baylor,
in Dallas?
What would have been a good Baylor post-game taunt of the Pony, though? I just had this thought because the Aggies, which you're concerned that I'm paying too much attention to them, they did have a really funny post-game taunt dance. I think in SMU, what would you do? Act like you were on like a hobble horse or something? Like I'm just trying to think of what the Bears players could have been doing after that game. I don't know. You need to look at this video, by the way, Scotty, and I should have sent it to you because we could have shown it. Of course, I can't on my freaking iPad. I can't see anything. But the Aggies did. I didn't even think college kids would have known anything about the Irish leprechaun, like that like college football players who don't really care that much about Notre Dame's history. And I guarantee you there's a bunch of A&M players that are 19, 20 years old that aren't like us, that they aren't aware of all these unbelievable Notre Dame win one for the Gipper deals. But after that game, Scotty, they did go out there and do several of the players the leprechaun dance, and then they did this thing, and I can't remember who I used to do this with. I think it was my sister. You got to look at what I'm doing, Scotty. You have to look up from your phone for just a second. They ended it with doing this little Irish thing. It was a good little jig. I thought that was funny. I think you should not be able to taunt during games, but you should be able to taunt the opposing fan base and team after the game. I think those are very funny and should be allowed. Same thing. If you get beat, the other team should be able to go plant its flag at midfield. I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think it hurts the field or there's any desecration of anything. It's not like you're doing anything to the American flag, heaven forbid. I think you should be able to go plant your flag at midfield if you feel so inclined.
So the only thing I miss, Matt, about Floyd Casey Stadium, I don't miss hardly anything about that stadium. I really like the digs at McLean, but one thing I miss is that rather than the Baylor line being at the front and the upperclassmen being behind, at Floyd Casey, you had them next to one another. And so my sophomore and junior year, my friends and I would be in the front row of the student section every game. And if you recall, the visitors tunnel came out from kind of underneath field level up these stairs right in front of the student section. And so Matt Mosley, when I tell you that my friends and I made a living off taunting those guys, especially in 2013, when we beat every single team that walked into that building. Oh, Matt Mosley, we let them have it. It was a good time. Got some good reactions out of some folks too. In fact, the best one was a number 7. I could probably look him up if I really wanted to embarrass him. Maybe I will sometime. Number 7 for West Virginia. West Virginia ran back I believe Baylor received the opening kickoff when West Virginia came to that building that year. Baylor went 3 and out, which was odd for that era of Baylor football. Then West Virginia ran back Baylor's punt for a touchdown, 7-0. Number 7, some special teamer, comes sprinting over to the student section, jumps up on the closest bench, starts cussing us, F-bombs, flipping us off, to which our typical response was usually, "Sir, this is a Baptist university. Please calm down. Please use godly language. Chill out." Okay? He's cussing us up and down. Matt Mosley, I think that was the only touchdown West Virginia scored in that game. I believe the final score of that game was something in the neighborhood of like 63-10. And so let me tell you, when he walked out of that stadium that day, we let him have it. We did not stop talking to number 7, and he was hiding from us. Wonderful memories. I've got so many good memories from Floyd Casey Stadium.
They're scarred by the Baylor line.
Speaking of Big 12 football,
by the way, somebody from a heckling incident, you mentioned therapy earlier. I thought, by the way, you spending time with me every day was your best therapy. But
or it's the reason I'm in therapy. We'll never know.
Maybe that's what's driven you into it. That's fine. I'm glad you're doing it because I think it's very, very important work. But the Tom Penders, when he was at Baylor, Susie Penders, his wife, felt like she got heckled so badly she did go to therapy. And you know who that was? And for a long time at the Farrell Center, they would not allow the students to sit behind the bench anymore. That was the SAEs at Baylor University circa 1990, 91, right around then. And then a guy lost his job as the PA announcer, or maybe he just had to apologize. I can't remember a Baylor guy's name. I think his name was Brad Cox. And he, at the end of the game, he shouted into the PA, "The Bears have knocked off Tom Penders and the Texas Longhorns," or something, and threw like a it was a great moment. Yeah. But he had to come out and apologize. And later he lost his gig as the Baylor PA guy. Brad Cox, I believe, is his name.
Justice for Brad.
Very tall man.
Didn't do anything wrong.
Used to date the president's daughter. Used to date President Sloan's daughter briefly. But
see, when you said the president's daughter, I'm thinking like a Clinton, a Bush. What are we talking about here? But
no, this was the Baylor president.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And we just lost a bear named after the Baylor president's wife, the great Sue Sloan, which I was when they started doing that goodbye thing, I was like, what? Okay, Scotty, what else do we have in Campus Confidential?
Little throwback. This is something I made about 4 or 5 months ago for the Pete Souza show, but you were talking just a little bit ago about protected games and conferences kind of preserving some of this good pageantry of college football rather than going to shticks like Dave Portnoy to be relevant. Matt, this is very simple to me. Why doesn't the Big 12 do this? Why don't we do this? Let me pull off the bar here for a second so we can see the full map. It's very simple. Protect these games. Is this a perfect setup? No, you're not going to get a perfect setup in this conference the way it stands. But if you just protect these regions, you will protect all of the important games everyone wants to watch every season in the current Big 12. The first opposition to this format, Matt, is usually, oh, poor Houston. Why would you put Oklahoma State in the South region instead of Houston? It's very simple. Houston came from the American Conference where they were with Cincinnati and UCF. Those rivalries are more recent than any rivalry they have with the Southwest Conference team. And Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and Baylor are all founding members of the Big 12. They should remain in a pod together. Matt, this is my structure. Oh, I actually don't know. I went on that whole rant and you said you couldn't see my image earlier. Can you see this?
Nope. But tell me who's in the South.
My goodness. Let me talk you through my pod structure. My pod structure would be you protect these pods every year and they play one another. In the West, Utah, BYU, Arizona State, Arizona. In the North, Colorado, Kansas, Kansas State, Iowa State. In the South, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, TCU, Baylor. And in the East pod, Houston, Cincinnati, UCF, West Virginia. I think you make it 4 pods where you face those 3 teams in your pod every year, and then you face 5 teams randomly or however they want to structure it from the other pods.
You know, who came up with this?
I did, but I've seen, I say I did. I came up with this, and I've seen multiple others that kind of have similar jobs to me, producer, host, and this kind of level, come up with the same concept. This is not my original concept, but I did one day for Pete's show to say, this is how we should do it. And then when I looked around, it's like several people think that maybe this is how we should do it. So I don't want to claim it's my completely original idea, but it was original to me when I thought of it.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think you could probably get the scheduling done like you need to without having to do it. But with that amount of teams, and I like what you've done with those American and Cincinnati and Houston and UCF. I mean, it makes total sense. West Virginia is kind of in a little bit in that part of the country. How far is West Virginia from Cincinnati? I got to do let me think about this for a second, because I'm just trying to think how close everything is. But but you're right. From a conference standpoint, that all makes sense. And you preserve the regionality while having the whole, I think that's a very interesting thought. And so I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. I just, now, what would save you from having to do all that? Again, I like that. I think that sounds very logical to me. But it is very possible. It would not have been that hard to keep Baylor and Tech playing each other every year.
Just protect it. Yeah.
And the reason they didn't is because they didn't want to show so much favoritism, because they only protected only a certain few: the Utah BYU, the Baylor TCU, did Tech get anything protected?
Nope. But neither did Oklahoma State, right? Because Oklahoma left the conference, so it's all kind of jacked up with realignment and everything.
That was the big argument we were having in the early days of Texas. Kind of in our last days of playing them, when we knew they were headed on the way out. It was kind of like, and there was going to be a fairly big game between Baylor and Oklahoma State. Obviously, you had the championship game, the Big 12 championship game. Like, how could you watch that game and not want to build on that? I realize they're down right now, but let's not pretend that Gundy hasn't had an extreme. He's the greatest coach in Oklahoma State history. Now, Jimmy certainly went on to greater things, and I'm not saying he's a better coach than Jimmy, but when it comes to what he did at Oklahoma State, it's far, far, far superior because of his longevity there.
It's not even close.
Correct.
Yeah.
But that you could have built on that, and you've let that peter out. This Tech and Baylor, when you've got Joey, the guy they could have hired, against Dave, and you've had the two games out there where Baylor's taken them. They came in when Baylor was having a miserable season and put it on the Bears. Those fan bases want to play each other. And
yeah,
so
we
what
do.
They did is they took that game, which was at a neutral site every year, and that was fun. But it had run its course. I was fine with it going back to campus.
Yep.
And then you interrupt it? Like, it's crazy. How many years straight has Baylor and Tech played? Probably you got to go back to the 1960s, don't you? So you play that thing for, I don't know. I think Baylor, I didn't know how, I think Baylor and SMU ought to consider filling the void that TCU and SMU are leaving. Like, that's dumb. Like, why would you, if you have this iron skillet rivalry, and Fort Worth hates Dallas. Dallas honestly doesn't care about Fort Worth that much, but Fort Worth hates Dallas. And Fort Worth really, if Baylor truly ever got Waco to buy in as much as Fort Worth buys into TCU, that would be a great day. It's happened more and more. It's gotten better. Scotty, when I was there, and probably even when you got to Baylor, it was still the Baylor bubble, and a lot of Waco just didn't like it and just thought we were all these arrogant rich kids, which is probably somewhat true. It's gotten better, but it's not to where Fort Worth and TCU are. Like, that goes hand in hand. I think Baylor and Waco has gotten better. I think Austin and Texas certainly have their love affair. and it goes more hand in hand because we think of they're all kind of liberals out there, right? But you were telling me that you think Baylor, after the Dallas-Fort Worth, after the Metroplex, and then maybe after Waco, that I'm talking about per capita, by the way. You think Austin might even be ahead from a per capita standpoint of Baylor graduates? You think Austin might be ahead of Houston and San Antonio?
Houston, I would question. San Antonio, I do think so. Yeah, certainly. At least, and I also said amongst my peers. Yeah, I think that's true. By the way, I looked it up. For whatever reason, it looks like Baylor skipped a game against Tech in 1994, as well as 2003. But outside of those two exceptions, they have played every year since 1956.
Well, wait. I was in undergrad. There would be no reason in the world. You did SWC was about to come to an end around then, but there's no.
I'm just
there's
looking.
No way in the world you wouldn't have played in '94.
I'm looking at Baylor Athletics official history page against Texas Tech. Every matchup listed, and it skips '94 and it skips '03. So either they didn't play for some reason, or some intern at Baylor Athletics messed up the history chart here.
Well, we don't have to depend on Baylor Athletics. Let's look at just.
Well, okay. Let's not depend on Baylor Athletics. Jeez.
No, I didn't mean it to be so. I didn't mean it to be a shot at you. I just said let's go outside of that. I've got October 19th, 2024. Baylor 59, Tech 35.
That was a great day.
So they did, and I think they would have had to have played in 03 as well, because by then you were in the Big 12.
Big 12 South.
They would have skipped that game. So anyway, yeah, they were all playing each other. All right. Well, yeah, I'm sure you just got some intern fired. Okay. Did you have one more? We have gone into Campus Confidential overtime. I've loved the discussion. Did you have one more nugget, or are you good?
You want to talk about Dabo?
You do that here, or do you want to do that after a break?
Oh, let's take a break, and we can talk about Dabo.
All right. Tell you what we'll do, because we got these incredible sponsors we want to take care of. And thank you, Ascension. Thank you, Central National Bank. Thank you, Cherry Johnson, Sigmund James. Thank you, Schmaltz, on your way over to be with the Mosley Show. And thank you, Brazos Landing. Thank you for what you do. We've got an epic rant. And then at some point, and this might be the appropriate time, a conversation or a back and forth I had with Dave Aranda about Sawyer Robertson and my takeaways from that. That is next.
Are you ready to take control of your health? At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. Say goodbye to long waits and office visits. Check your health on your own terms with 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today and free yourself from traditional medicine. That's the number 4uhealth.com. Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at bestbuy.com and upgrade your tech today. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Our research-backed bioavailable formulas are crafted with your health in mind, ensuring the highest quality and safety. From preconception to pregnancy and beyond, we exceed industry standards with independent testing for harmful contaminants. With our comprehensive practitioner directory, personalized care is always within reach. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
Have you ever watched true crime television and wondered, how did they get that story?
I can show you. I was a producer for 48 Hours on CBS News.
In my exclusive tell-all book, I'll take you where no audience has ever gone before. Don't miss out. Secure your copy of Killer Story: The Truth Behind True Crime Television today. Available everywhere books are sold.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. We use the finest materials like Italian top-grain leather, known for its durability and luxurious feel, and apply meticulous attention to detail in every piece we create. Our replicas are crafted with the same care and precision as the originals, but a price that makes them accessible. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. Using advanced tech fabrics that are 100% waterproof, UV tear, and abrasion-resistant, we ensure lasting durability with hand-sewn double-stitch seams. Our commitment to quality, precision engineering, and customizable options is unmatched. With vertically integrated operations and express shipping, we deliver premier protection at affordable prices. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
We haven't been looking for you. Wake up.
Hellhound Country, available anywhere you get your podcasts. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we didn't know exactly what that partnership would look like.
What brings you into the bank today?
For the last couple of months, I've been noticing a charge on my account, and I would like to block it.
I see. So you have a charge.
Yes.
And you'd like to block it?
Yes.
I think you should take the charge.
What?
Yeah, I definitely think you should take the charge.
I don't think you understand.
Sometimes you just have to take one for the team.
Is there a manager available?
We love that Coach Colin is all about the team. Once we get the vocabulary down, the sky's the limit.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
I have Mac Rhodes, director of Baylor Athletics, on the phone. Mac, can you tell Peggy why she should take the charge?
Of course she should take the charge. Wait, are you at the bank again? And who is Peggy?
Hey, everybody. Football is back. And Underdog, that's your best place to make picks and win money all season long. And playing on Underdog, it's really easy. It's a fantasy game where you pick if your favorite players will go higher or lower on certain stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. And when you get your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash, and you can play for just as little as $1. So let me show you real quick some of the picks that I made for this weekend's action. And here's what I did. I went college football. It's what we talk about a lot here on the Mosley Show. It's what I love. Josh Cameron, higher than 55.5 receiving yards. After 2 games where he went way over 100, that felt really, really easy to me. In addition, Sawyer Robertson, his worst game this season was against Samford, and he still threw 3 touchdowns. So I did take him to have higher than 2.5 passing touchdowns this weekend against Arizona State. And then, hey, maybe the hottest player in the Big 12 that some of us down here in Texas might be sleeping on, Devin Dampier, has rushed for over 100 yards in his last 2 games. I say he goes higher than 65.5 in this big matchup Saturday morning against Texas Tech. Devin Dampier will have more than 65.5 rushing yards. And if you would like to get in on the action and play with me on Underdog, you can use this promo code Mosley. Sign up with the promo code Mosley. Pick your favorite players. And if you use this promo code, they will give you $50 in bonus funds when you play with your first $5. I mean, come on. That's 10x your cash. Use this promo code Mosley and join me this week on Underdog Fantasy. have already won billions of dollars playing on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play-and-get-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
You know, I could probably get a lot more accomplished and get to more topics if I could talk that fast, as you just heard on Underdog. Put that promo code in, Mosley.
I did that live, by the way. That was in real time. I can just talk that fast.
I saw your sunglasses. Yeah, that's a very speedy. That's pretty fast talking right there. Oh, there's that promo code. Let's just leave that up at all times.
Underdog.
Mosley on Underdog. I liked it. Higher or lower? Remember that, Scotty. Always higher or lower when it comes to talking about Underdog.
Go higher. Josh Cameron, higher. Sawyer Robertson, higher. Devin Dampier, higher.
Did you look at their numbers for this week?
Whose numbers?
Yeah. For all those folks, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to take a peek at that, too, because I want to play. And
there we go.
It's so exciting to
wait.
My own name.
You'll play Underdog, but you won't shotgun a Southern Roots Alico lager.
I don't think those things are alike at all. Like, yes, one.
You're right. I think one is much safer than the other. And I won't say which I'm implying, but you can read between the lines.
All right. Have another swig or whatever you have there, sir.
Mountain Dew.
It seems very exciting. Scotty Swingler here with me, Matt Mosley, as we continue on. And Scotty, we'll do this, and then we'll get to the Sawyer stuff. Let's look at this rant, and it's amazing to me that men who are, and in this case, it is men, because I don't think we have a female head college football coach at this point. Maybe it's coming someday. But like, what possesses someone of Dabo Swinney's, at his level, at the success he's had? Like, it's, to me, typically you would think the bigger you are, the more money you make, the thicker the skin you might have. And that's almost never the case. The bigger you are, the more success you have. It's almost like you get bigger rabbit ears. First of all, like, who is he even reacting to? Is it the national media? Is it people in his fan base? I mean, if Clemson fans are not satisfied with where Clemson is right now, it just makes them normal. Like, why is any coach like shocked or bothered or even feel the need to defend themselves when you turn a place into a juggernaut, which is what Georgia under Kirby Smart, which is Alabama under Nick Saban, and it's what Clemson became under Dabo Swinney. You had three programs, and then let's go ahead and throw Ryan Day in there and Dan Lanning to a lesser extent at Oregon right now. But if you turn something into a juggernaut, I was going to say Sark, but have you seen them play? But if you turn your program into a juggernaut, which all those guys I just mentioned did, like, you're going to be held to that standard. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with people being mad when you're 1-2? That's life. That's part of big time. That's why you get paid 7, 8 to 10 million, whatever it is. I bet Dabo by now has to be making somewhere in the area of $11 million a year. All right. So what? So if you're 1-2, you expect not to get some backlash? Scotty, let's let our folks hear the epic rant. Let's hope I can hear it. I'm having to kind of get through while some repairs are being made to some of my equipment. But hopefully I can see this too. Scotty, let's play Dabo. And again, it's not a rant unless you throw out your age, unless you let everybody know how old you are. And that affects not only football coaches, but also people in the media. For some reason, the older you get as like a columnist or whatever, you have to remind people of your age. Well, we get it, man. We know how old you are by the way you write or some of the things you reference. Okay, like we don't have to constantly give our age. But that's a big thing, especially with like sort of aging white football coaches. They love to give their age when going through a rant, all right? Does the black head football coach ever give their age? Not as much as the white football coach. It's a very strange thing. Something I'll study at some point. Let's let everybody hear what we're talking about. This thing went viral yesterday. Here is the rant from Dabo Swinney, head coach of the Clemson Tigers.
What's so bad about our program? What's so bad about it? Like, what's so bad about the worst season that we've had 14 years? How many programs in college football would sign up for one, and only once, 14 years of 9 wins? How many programs would sign up for that? And the playoffs, so we all talk about, we've been 7 times in 10 years. Who can say that? If we stink because we haven't played for the national championship since January of 20, well, I guess we stink. Or we haven't won it since January of 19. We haven't won the national championship. Well, then I guess we stink. But why are we held to a different standard from all these other teams out there who ain't ever won nothing? We're not perfect, and we may suck this year. We may lay a freaking egg and go 6-6, but I don't think so. And I know that's going to disappoint a lot of people, but I don't think so. I know it's bad because I get in all the text messages, I'm praying for you, everybody's sending me devotions, and you're going to get through this. And, that's when I know it's bad. That's how I feel it, because I don't read it. I don't. I know people say that. I promise you I don't. When it's bad, I don't read nothing. This ain't the worst thing that's happened to me in my life, and it won't be. And it won't be for these players. It's a bad moment. Because we take pride in what we do and we're competitive, but this ain't the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Is criticism and all that. And listen, I get it, and it's warranted because people care, and I love being at a program that people care and it matters. That doesn't bother me. I get all that. I spent 13 years at Alabama, so I had thick skin when I showed up here at Clemson. If they want me gone, if they tired of winning, they can send me on their way because that's all we've done is win. So if they tired of winning, we've won this league 8 out of the last 10 years. Is that not good? I'm just asking, is that good? I don't know if that's good or not. To win your league 8 out of 10 years, to go to the playoffs 7 out of 10 years, to be in 4 national championships, win it twice. Yeah, we're a little down right now. Take your shots, but I got a long memory, in case y'all don't know. We'll be all right. We'll bounce back. And hey, listen, if Clemson's tired of winning, they can send me on my way, but I'm going to go somewhere else and coach. I ain't going to the beach. Hell, I'm 55. I got a long way to go. Y'all going to have to deal with me for a while. I got a long way to go. I'm just getting going. I'm just now good enough to be a head coach. I'm just now figuring it out. So we'll be around a while. Let's hang in there.
We'll be around a while. There was a little bit of Spurrier in that, Scotty. There was a little bit of Spurrier that got into his voice. Is that good?
I ain't going to the beach.
Is that good? 55. That's when he got as a.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
You got to get your age in there. I'm 40. I'm a man. It might be time for Mike Gundy to have one of those similar speeches. Now, the ridiculous part of that is saying, what about all those other schools that would give anything? Like, why do they not get a hard time? Like, it's because of your success. It's not hard. This is not hard. It became a great, and again, they had sporadic winning over the years. They had a national title, I believe, 1982, 81 or 82. They played Baylor. There was a bowl game back in like 79. I think that was at the Peach Bowl. They played Clemson. And Danny Ford was their coach. They won a national title under Danny Ford, but they became Clemson, the monsters of the ACC under Dabo. But don't build this and don't have this unbelievable facilities, salary, everything, and then start asking why you don't get compared to these other schools. Why you don't get compared. Let's think of some people he would like to be compared to right now that don't win 10 games every single year and have been to the playoff like 7 out of 10 seasons. Okay? SMU, Texas Tech, Baylor. I mean, that's who he's wanting to be compared to. You're not going to be compared to that because of what you built, because of all your success. But when you do one of these rants, you just come across as so thin-skinned. And be careful. Be careful, old Dabo, because the last thing you need to be doing as a head coach is giving anybody a chance to fire you. You don't like this? Go ahead and fire me. Go ahead and fire me. Woo. Somebody at some point might take you up on that. Not this year, maybe not next year, but you start saying things like that enough, and then it's like, well, I'll just go coach somebody else. Okay, maybe. I mean, I guess Virginia Tech or UCLA or some of these teams that are out in the wilderness right now would love to have Dabo Swinney. There was a time when Baylor was out looking, and obviously, would they have loved to have had Dabo Swinney come to town? Sure. But at the time, of course, Clemson was still a juggernaut. They're still freaking Clemson. When you start to see the downfall of a program is when the coach shows, like when he blinks. This was blinking. This is, Saban, I'm sure they had their moments where people would go, uh-oh, the end is near, or this is the end. But you always, as many coaches as he lost, he was always going to retrench. He was always going to be fine because he was Nick Saban. He ran the program in a certain way. And honestly, when you think about the best college football coaches of the past 15 years, Saban, Urban, incredible. He might be slimy as all get out, but let's not act like Urban wasn't great at Ohio State. Ryan Day recently, Dabo, and Kirby. I mean, it's about a handful of guys who are. Dan Lanning is doing it at Oregon now. He's incredible. You got to hand it to him, but it's a handful of guys. But you don't see, even after a loss, you didn't see Saban, Urban, any of them with this whiny deal. Now, I like Dabo because he's kind of funny and all that stuff he was doing. Is that good? Is that good? Is that good? Like, that's funny. Okay? But boy, he is looking thin-skinned and he is looking whiny. That's why Sark, when he's got a quarterback that's not playing well, and he starts saying that stuff about, I don't take pictures of y'all when you're like using the bathroom. What? That's bad. Because that makes you think to the mentality, where is Sark's brain right now? It gets away from Sark, the brilliant play caller, and you go to Sark, the motivator. Where is that coming from? Why did Sark say something that weird? And that's where you go when you see Dabo go on one of these rants. Why is Dabo's mind going there? Why doesn't he just try to go fix the team? Why is he going off on some kind of deal? Because the way it comes across, at least to me, is Dabo is caring too much about his legacy and what people think of him. Because what they always do is hide behind the program. Who was that other rant we saw the other day, Scotty, where it's like, don't come after my program. Give me a break, Brian Kelly. Give me a break, LSU. That guy's asking you about your third down offense. He's asking you. He didn't bring up Nussmeier's name. He didn't bring up your running backs. He's asking you, Brian Kelly, who makes $10 million a year or whatever, what's wrong with the third down offense? What's wrong with your third down offense? What's wrong with your scoring? What's wrong with the fact that you can't separate from the University of Florida when they are throwing you 4 interceptions? What is the problem? What's wrong with that line of questioning? If you want to be great and you want to be elite, you're held to that standard. So-and-so from the CBS affiliate, Cowboy, I think is his name, asking you about third down offense, that should be the least of your worries. You should be more worried about the donors and the NIL and blah, 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 and whoever, when the Aggies come to town with their receiving core, who even Scotty Swingler now is holding in high esteem, that should be what you're worried about. My goodness. I mean, have you ever seen a more thin-skinned bunch? The reason you're feeling the heat is because of what you built. But your response should not be, why aren't you comparing us to Baylor or Penn State? I mean, Penn State's probably too good right now, but I'm just saying, like, he wants to be compared to these schools that don't win 10 games every year. Sorry, when you start going to the playoff every year and when you start winning national titles like Dabo did, you're going to be held to a higher standard. You can't whine about it. Are you not compensated? I mean, really, really well for this? Oh man, Scotty, that's one thing you'll never get from Miranda. Now you may he may throw a 4 or 5 win season at you. He may throw a 7-win season at you, but you're never going to get the rant. Why are we compared like this? Because that's not how he's wired. He knows why it was so bad what they did in 2022, because they had so much success in 2021 season. They lifted the standard. Let your other people, let your social media people, let your athletics, let your administrators go defend you on some stuff if they need to. So I do like that about Aranda. As whispery as he can be and as infuriating some of his defensive stuff can be, he will never come out and beg for the fan base or the media to take it easy on him, because Dave, unlike Dabo, if you don't think Dabo reads every single thing, whoever covers them for The Athletic, whoever covers them for 247, he's digesting every bit of it. And that's okay. It makes him normal. Like, Scotty, if I were doing therapy for anybody and somebody came to me and they said, man, I'm comparing myself too much to others, I would say, you got a condition that makes you human. You are a human being. You are normal. That's the thing about Facebook that's such a problem. That's the thing about social media, because every time you get on there, somebody's off in Crested Butte, or they're in Steamboat, or they're at the beach, and they're living this life. You're like, dang it, I kind of want to do that. Man, I've done all that stuff, and I still find myself like, oh, dang, look where the Krauses are this week. Well, man, that seems pretty neat. They're spending a whole month of their summer in Colorado. Why can't I have that? Because you didn't really want it. You don't really want that stuff. But boy, it sure does look good on social media when you're clicking on that. Boom, boom, like. And then all that stuff's going to your brain. See, Scotty, I could do some of this stuff for free. All right, buddy. Man, I didn't mean to go on such a rant, but we can work with that. We can do some things with that. Scotty, are you feeling good today? Has this been I feel like you've had a banner day. I've enjoyed working with you today, even though Pete takes a lot of our time away from us. I feel like Pete steals a lot of my time.
Well, to be fair, I've been Pete's producer since January. So it might be more accurate to say you've stolen me from Pete.
Time from him.
But, we can all get along. We can all do this thing together.
No, I have to be at war with somebody or I can't function. No, I love you.
Go to war with the Aggies. That's what we learned today.
boy, I tell you, I call them like I see them, and you'll never get me in maroon. But I do think I've brought you over to the side of agreeing with. We got what we're witnessing right now down there in College Station. They have put together one of the great wide receiver duos of our time, and you know what they had to do to get it?
We are 3 games into the season, by the way.
I know. But when I'm on a roll, let me go. They went and found when I'm making a lick of sense, let me talk. They went and found somebody from Mississippi State who had 17 catches. What are you doing, Jeff Levy? What are you doing? Mario Craver comes in there. He's already got 43 catches for like 450 yards and 4 touchdowns. Casey Concepcion was getting it done. Now, he put up better numbers at NC State, and the Wolfpack was upset to lose him. But that is part of college football. That's another thing, just a throwback real quick, Scotty. That's another thing. If Dabo wants to go on one of these rants, like rant against yourself. Like, you got to own the fact that you weren't ready for NIL and transfer portal. Like, at least Dave Aranda just said, guys, I stunk at this. Baylor, you could not have found a worse coach for this era. I mean, because it's true, they couldn't have. He was not made for this era. Now, on the fly, with help and with support, he's done a lot better, and he's getting better at it. And he's a genius defensive coach. They're not seeing much evidence of that, but he is. And so hopefully he's going to survive this era that was not made for him. Dabo could have embraced this era. Dabo's the opposite of Dave Aranda. He's a great talker. He's like a freaking evangelist. He is like, I mean, you think of every Southern Baptist pastor, Scotty, we grew up with, who we admired and could bring a bunch of souls to Jesus during a revival. That's Dabo. That's Dabo. He should have been great for this era, but he flunked. He flunked because he's like, we're in the name of image of likeness of God. Okay, buddy, that's great. But meanwhile, everybody else is building these elite, and even Texas Tech is out there spending it all. And if they don't win 9 games this year, tell you what, they'll go find somebody else who will coach that program. Because at this point, it's $1 billion business. They got a billionaire running it in Cody Campbell. And if they don't have a coach who wins 10 games for them, sorry, Joey, we love you. You're a great dude. Go back to Baylor and go help them.
And Baylor would welcome him back to Waco with open arms, I tell you.
Apparently, you don't know Mac's relationship with Joey.
Let me rephrase. Let me start over. Delete. Baylor fans will welcome him back to Waco with open arms.
Yeah, maybe so. And I'm sure it's fine. I'm just saying, if there was an opening at Baylor, people that think that's where Mac would look first would be wrong. They would be wrong. Thank you, Landing. We always do the landing at the very end, the Brazos landing. It's where this show lands every day, right there on the Brazos. In fact, the Thursday before the big K-State game, we're going to be right there doing a live show. The Lindsay family will be there. We love them. The Bang Bang Shrimp. I get that little harvest salad. I like a strawberry. I like to mix a little strawberry in there and then give me some of that. I don't know what it's called. I mean, they got some kind of dressing that's like a poppy seed vinaigrette. And you just you mix that in. It's a beautiful combination. Get some blackened chicken. And then, what I'll do is probably call Paul Catalina and say, Paul, could you bring me over some Himpalicious? I'm over here at the landing. I'm having a beautiful evening. All I need is some Himpalicious to go along with this. And Paul will come running over there. He'll sprint unless he pulls his hamstring like he did that one time, pop both of his calves, run into first base in some kind of media softball. Paul needs to be careful, okay? Paul's not getting any younger. He's sneaking up on 50. The guy does good comedy, does not do well on a softball field. All right, appreciate this. We got more and more people coming over. Scotty, let's send this. I don't know who we would send it to, but let's send today's show out there to some people and see if they like it. We'll do it again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. For Scotty Swingler, I am Matt Mosley. We will see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.